Hey everyone. Hey Philomena. Oh, that's okay. I went ahead and added you anyways. I got your donation. Thank you. So we are not going to be open for donations very long tonight. I feel like that's just my usual. I feel like, if I'm on like I was last night or it was just kind of open-ended, that's just so rare for me lately. I can't seem to get my life together, but we'll just be open for a little while tonight. The free list, which we're doing right now, will close in about 10 minutes or so. So make sure you guys are dropping your question in the chat if you would like a free read tonight. Make sure that your question is a yes/no format. Let's get these free yes/nos started, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm seeing some donations coming through. I will add you to the list. I just want to get things straight over here on my end first. So just be prepared. I will be adding you to the list momentarily. I think I got some chats coming through. Hey James, welcome in. Hey Phoenix. So what are we doing for you, Phoenix? Oh, a mini reading. So Phoenix, just for future reference, I do have a price list. So you do have to send the corresponding amount that's listed in my donation box. So I will let that go for tonight, but just make sure that you are sending the appropriate amount for your reading moving forward, okay? Yes, it is $8, but you sent $7.77, like $7.77. So you actually underpaid me. And in addition to that, I already have to pay fees and stuff like that. So just make sure you're hitting that mark next time. Okay. Well, we got a lot of donations coming through, guys. All right, let me go ahead and update the list really quick. Hey, Ari, welcome in. Hey, Sienna. All right, let me update the donation list really quickly. Hey everyone, we're working on yes nos here. Just bear with me for a second. I can forward you the email transaction if you want, Phoenix. But I would need like your email and stuff like that. I did get the $8 yesterday. It's just for tonight said 777. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to stress it. Just got to make sure, moving forward, that doesn't keep happening. Okay. Let's get some yes nos going. So first on my list here, we have Amy. Amy, I have a no. I have the 10 of Wands. Anna, I have a no. The 5 of Pentacles. Helena, I have a yes. The Sun. You're welcome, guys. James, I would say give it more time. I have the Hanged Man, which isn't like a flat out no, but it does indicate the need to wait before you do this. So I would say give it more time. Gabriella. Gabriella, I'm gonna say no. I have the 2 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. I think they may have thought it was on the higher end of fair. So I don't think that they had an issue paying that. But don't be surprised if they find someone else that's more affordable. I have a no, Gina. I have the 4 of Swords. Ari, I have a yes. The Four of Wands. Jazz, welcome in. Good to see you. You're welcome, everyone. IJ, I have your questions. Thank you so much. All right, this is for Sienna. I have a no, Sienna. I have the Five of Pentacles. Sweeter, I have a no, the Hermit. I hope I'm wrong, but I have no. All right, so you guys should have seen the donation list being posted periodically in the chat. That just lets you know the order that we've got going right now. If you see no skips next to your name, it just means that if someone pays to skip the line, they can't skip ahead of you because you were a pre-order. If you would like to hold your place in line, you can donate $5 to secure your spot. If you want to jump the list, you can pay $5 to jump ahead everybody that's not a pre-order or held their spot. Or you can leave your question with me. If you can't stick around, you can just drop your question in the chat, and as soon as it's your turn, I will work on your reading. Or, as always, in the most defaulted thing to do would be to just hang around until it's your turn. But I give multiple options because I know everyone has a busy life, that I want them to have every opportunity to get the reading how they want it. You're welcome, Sienna. So this is the list right now. First we have IJ, then we have SB, after that Philomena, James, Amy, Phoenix, and Ajaz. And I think I might just have to close my list after this. Let me see how long this is going to take. Yeah, I think I'm going to just see. I'm going to go ahead and close the list. I'm just going to see how quickly I can get through these. And if I have a little extra time, then I will open the list back up. But I think for now, this is where we've got to leave it because that's quite a bit of people. It looks like right now the list is about an hour and 15, hour 20 before I'll be able to get on to the last person on the list. So it's going to be a little bit of a wait. Make sure you leave your question with me if you cannot stick around. All right, that is the end of the free list as well. Let's go ahead and start with IJ. IJ, I'm shuffling for you whether you're in here or not. Amy, I got your donation to make yours a BOGO. You're welcome, Ari. I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so IJ, we have a couple cards here that are kind of making me feel like she's going through maybe a mix of heavy emotions, but simultaneously like hopeful ones as well. Like she might be going through a challenging time emotionally, but I still feel like her feelings and affection are coming through for you. And let's break this down a bit. So, the first card I have here is the Ten of Wands. So this indicates some type of feeling or of burden or overwhelm, because she may be carrying a lot of responsibility or stress or pressure from like her personal life and commitments that is affecting her energy, her ability to give effort to you, and also like her availability for you when it comes to her emotions. So she may want you to know that she's feeling weighed down, but she's not giving up. She's trying to remain hopeful. The Three of Swords also indicates like a deeper, or I don't want to say darker because that doesn't feel right to me, but just a more heavy presence of like emotional turmoil, I guess you could say. That maybe she's trying to process a current hurtful experience, or she's like trying to process an experience from the past in which is now coming up for her that maybe been on a delay, or maybe she thought she resolved it, but it's coming up again. So this can talk a lot about like past hurt, past pain from relationships, romantic or otherwise, emotional scars and wounding, and just essentially her trying to, I guess, deal with any residual like stuff that's coming through that may be impacting her. And I think that part of this process is actually beneficial for your connection, because through this healing, it will allow her to be more open with how vulnerable she can be with you. I also have the Six of Pentacles, which, well, before I go there, I want to actually touch on the Eight of Swords that I also have here. That there's a lot of themes that comes up for her that signifies this compelling, like overwhelming desire to move forward and start a new life. But the Eight of Swords indicates that she is kind of putting this restriction on herself. So mentally speaking, this could be making it hard for her to take that genuine next step with you, what for whatever reason this is, that she's feeling held back and not able to fully express herself to you. And maybe she's not fully sure how to navigate through this or how to get past it. But what's very, very clear is that she wants you to know, or what she's trying to get across is that you are not the reasons for these struggles, this fear or doubt or whatever it is that's holding her back. It's not personal to you. It's not because of you. As a matter of fact, you are the one that is kind of helping assist her through out of that place. So she's like, I don't ever want him to take this personally or feel like it's not for a lack of, desire or whatever. Like, I think she really wants that. So I think you're helping her. You said that makes sense. I sent encouragement to her through that. Yeah. Okay, Amy. So let's dig into a couple of the other cards that we have here. So I do feel that She wants you to know that she desires a relationship that's based out of balance and fairness and reciprocity, because the Six of Pentacles is like give and take, it's being generous and giving and receiving and having that balance. I feel like she might be trying to figure out how to give to your connection while also making sure that she's handling things on her side. I also feel like with this card that she appreciates your support and understanding and all of the patience that you've given to her. We also have the Ace of Cups here, and I think this is like a really great sign representing that she is like, I guess, on the precipice. I like saying that word. She's on the cusp of being more emotionally open to you. And I do feel like you're stirring new feelings within her that's giving her this excitement to have a fresh start in love. And it doesn't matter what challenges she's facing right now. She has genuine romantic feelings for you, and she does want to open up emotionally, and she sees the potential in this connection and would like to explore it more deeply. So I would say that that is what she would tell you. So let's shuffle for your second question. I know. Oh, I see you coming through as the Emperor and the King of Pentacles. So right off the bat, it's already telling me that you are a protector, you are a provider. You're like the hero, the leader. Let's see. I feel almost like people are looking to you to be a guide of some sort. So the first thing that's coming through is the moon. The mantra on here is the path may not be clear, but my intuition lights the way one step at a time. And so that indicates that you are very comfortable with not knowing what the next step is going to be or how things are going to play out, but your faith is strong because your intuition is something you're comfortable with. And so for helping yourself further, this card would encourage you to continue to explore your subconscious mind and embrace your intuition. It suggests that there may be illusions, hidden fears, or unconscious patterns that would be beneficial to you to face to understand yourself better. By continuing this inner work, you'll develop more clarity about what you want and what your needs are. I also feel like with helping others, this is basically using your intuition to offer support to other people, because you might pick up on things that other people wouldn't, or that other people would pass on by. You see something deeper. So for instance, if someone is not having a good day, someone who's not very tapped into their intuition might think everything's fine on the surface, but you can feel it. You can sense that there's something more going on. So you can use that to your advantage to reach out to that person to help them and be like, hey, you seem fine, but something made me feel called to like just ask you how you're doing. And like through that, you might find that person actually wants to open up to you more, because this intuition that you have helps you understand other people on a deeper level. And I think also it's kind of what we were talking about in the last reading, that you understand her on a level that other people don't. And I think that it's not just her. I think you help um other you help or you can understand other people as well, just as easily. We also have the Emperor. So as I mentioned before, that you are kind of what people look to for a guide. You are like whether you want to be or not, you're a role model. You are someone that people can look to for the answers or for advice, because you represent structure and stability, practicality, abundance. You can lead by example, and I think other people can look to you for those answers. I'm kind of wanting to like pick up the King of Pentacles at the same time while having this conversation. I think that through this self-discipline that you have, through this stability, that you're able to build a strong foundation. So in serving others, you can embody the qualities of the Emperor and the King of Pentacles by offering this guidance, providing that stability to other people, and setting a positive example. Because as I mentioned, it's kind of like the role model archetype, or like leading by example, that you naturally possess a grounding influence that offers others reassurance, which is funny because earlier you said you offered encouragement to her. I think you also offer reassurance. I think that you can also help people materially and emotionally at the same time. The King of Pentacles is very abundant. They're able to make money for their own financial well-being, to enhance their goals and provide themselves their own sense of security. And through those modalities, you're then able to share the wealth with other people and be very generous with your resources and with your time, and creating a safe, nurturing environment where other people can feel very cared for. I also feel like with the Two of Cups that you have a way of offering connection and mutual support. I think you are here to serve other people, alongside yourself, of course, but I think that you're here really to help. I mentioned this to Amy last night, that I feel like she's just naturally really good at being of service, and I think, IJ, that you are too. Let's see. I think that you have a way of showing compassion and understanding for those around you, and allowing for people to show up authentically, and create spaces of safety and trust and empathy. The Seven of Cups here, maybe you being able to see the whole picture and being a little bit more of a visionary, helping other people see what's illusion versus what's real, or maybe helping them find a path that may be hard for them to see. So sometimes when we're helping others, and I'm very similar, IJ, I am able to see solutions to problems very easily that are very hard for other people to see. And you definitely don't want to, like, overlook this quality, because it's a very strong quality to have. Sometimes we can undervalue these strengths that we have within us because it so comes so easily to us. But in reality, we're one of the few that can do this. So I think with the Seven of Cups, it's like helping other people to see that the one path that's in front of them isn't the only option available. You can kind of open their eyes to like maybe more opportunities or other options, things like that, and really help people overcome their own self restriction and self doubt and limitation, because by showing them what else is out there or what else is accessible or available to them, you're giving them their power back and helping them to release from these mental blocks, giving them more self confidence, releasing them from that feeling trapped of their circumstances. You know, you serve by encouraging and gently empowering people to see beyond the perceived limitations. So that's what I think. That's what I know. And I think that the way that you do this is by working through these things yourself. So that way you have a great foundation, a great origin. So that way when you work through these things, you know exactly how to give the tools to help other people to work through these things as well. All right, this next one is for SB, if SB is in here. Hey, Elvia, welcome in. We are done with our list for the night, so you'll have to come back another time, okay? You're welcome, IJ. I hope you enjoyed that. All right, this is for SB. We're doing question number 1 for her. Okay, so the first thing I've got, SB, which actually we message you in Instagram and let you know that I'm working on your reading. So the first thing that's coming through, SB, I would say is like whatever expectations you have for this date, kind of like throw that out the window. Hey girl, I don't want you to have too high of expectations. So for example, let's just say you kind of imagine this date going a certain way and like you're like, oh, well, we're gonna get there early. You might run late. Oh, we're gonna have a parking space right when we get there. You might have trouble finding parking. Like there might be lines to the bathroom, which is kind of frustrating. You know, like basically what I'm trying to say is whatever this date is, I think roll with the punches. I feel like spirit's very strongly saying like this might not go exactly the way that you want. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a fantastic time. It just means you might have some obstacles, and like don't get caught up in the details or like let that overwhelm you. It's definitely a good thing that you're getting this reading right now, because I feel like it's going to help give you that right mindset shift going into this. So that way, if there are any hiccups or anything, like, you're not letting it, because here's the thing, you don't get to hang out with this person that often, and like, you don't want to ruin it for yourself. So just go into it going, you know what, everything's going to be great. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. If there is a hiccup, like, I'm going to roll with it, and I'm not going to let that like ruin the like whole experience. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like you guys are feeling very comfortable. It's a very pleasant setting where you both can feel at ease, both really enjoying each other's company. I feel like I'm trying to think what this is, because I think that's why I got the Five of Swords, because I'm saying that there might be like a little bit of a hiccup, because the Five of Swords indicates like wanting to win at all costs. So like, don't get defensive, don't get offended. Like, if he says something to you that's kind of joking, you might take it the wrong way. Don't do that. Like, we just have to make sure that everything is just being very lighthearted. Not that anything bad is going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, he might say something that might kind of make you go, oh, okay, what did you mean by that? Like, let's clear the air as quickly as possible. Like, there's just something here. It doesn't feel big, but there's something that feels like it could ruin your night if you let it. So just, and it might not be even from him. It might just be the circumstances around you that's making you feel a little bit stressed out, like you're running late or you hit traffic or something. Like, it's going to be what it's going to be. Let's not let, and you might be coming into the date with personal stress too. Like, this might not be something that happens on the date. This might just be how your day has gone. Don't let that overshadow the fun of the moment. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel. And I feel like that's really important. But we do have the King of Wands, which indicates a lot of positivity, attraction, and chemistry between you guys, that there's a strong, passionate energy with a focus on like confidence and charisma. And I feel like the date itself is going to be a very fun experience that could potentially shift the energy between you guys. You might start feeling more like intensity in your attraction for one another, more tension between the two of you as well. So just like, let the fun, free flowing things just happen. Try not to be guarded if you can. Just go into it being very open, and like laughing at the like, if like something bad happens, just laughing about it, just thinking that it's funny, like, I can't believe this happened, just like allowing yourself to just give in to the date and just really enjoy yourself, because I do feel like the chemistry and attraction for you, the two of you, are very strong, that I think that you both have what it takes to keep things positive even if a challenge does arrive. So just show up being confident, feeling good. That way you guys can focus on your connection and getting more connected with one another. You know what I mean? Don't let it stress you out. Like, all I have to say is whatever is happening, and like, you'll get through it. We just don't want that to overshadow like an otherwise really incredible time that you guys can have together, All right, we're shuffling for your second question. I think also too, SB, on that date, he'll probably be complimenting you quite a bit. I'm just getting like telling you smell good, telling you look good, pointing something out in terms of like what you have wore or accessorized with, just really making you feel noticed, that your hard work hasn't gone unnoticed. So, SP, um, we have the Seven of Swords, which indicates to me that he still is, I guess, trying to feel out your really like your connection, your relationship. That he might have a sense of caution, or like I guess holding back or not fully revealing his thoughts for you just yet. Um, Maybe because he doesn't want to scare you off or do anything that comes across too forward that makes you uncomfortable. And there could be like an uncertainty of how to proceed. So I do remember telling you in the past to just make sure that you're giving him very clear signals of your interest. And I think that he will be just fine acting on it. Because I feel like this card kind of indicates like the strategy behind, like there's a lot of thought process behind and thoughtfulness on how to navigate through this connection with you. I also feel like he's wanting some sense of privacy with you. So, a lot of like alone time or one-on-one time is something that he might be wanting, in the near future or the present moment. We also have the Seven of Pentacles, which indicates that he's invested in this connection with you and interested in it as well, but he's willing to be patient. I think this is about the long game to him, like long-term thinking, the wait and see approach, and definitely observing and assessing, not obsessing, assessing where things are going. I feel like he wants to invest energy in this connection. He's considering, what this could be and if what you want and what he wants aligns. But there's definitely this energy from him of understanding that there is potential in this connection and wanting to see how things will naturally unfold. I also feel like his approach for you or his energy towards you is steady and it's calm and it's resilient. And this indicates his attraction for you as well, because I feel like he's not wanting to rush things, but he's like, I'm willing to do what it takes to get through it. Strength card is like the lion. So we're very, very loyal. I feel like he admires you, admires your strength, sees you as someone very grounded and mature. He may be even working on himself as well. Like you may be rising him to a challenge where he's trying to say, wow, she's so emotionally balanced and so emotionally mature. She's inspiring me to become more like that as well. I also feel like he's approaching the connection with patience and a desire to handle things very carefully with you. I also feel this strong, passionate, and charismatic energy that he has for you. He feels a magnetic attraction and a sense of excitement when it comes to you. I also feel that he feels confident in your connection, and I feel like being around you makes him feel confident because I think that he can kind of feed off of your energy towards him as well. I feel like he's attracted to you in a big way, and I just keep saying attracted, but I think it just continues to grow and grow and grow as he sees you as someone who brings a spark into his life. And I feel like he looks at you as someone who has like a warm, I don't know, like you're just very inviting. I don't know how else to word it. It's just like a very inviting, warm, like just beautiful energy. And it just indicates this passionate interest that he has in you. But I do feel like despite feeling these undertones of attraction, he is trying to balance it with patience and strategy and making sure that he's not acting too much or too quickly, or doing anything that's going to steer this ship in the wrong direction. I feel like there's just a genuine interest in you, and an admiration for like who you are as a person. Um, and I just feel like he's just being very thoughtful about his approach with you. All right, let's take a look at your messages. Hmm. You said, can you add to your reading? In what way would you like to add to your reading? I'm so sorry, I was on mute. SB, if you want to do another mini, that's fine with me. We'll work on that now for you. Ajaz, I got your donation and I'm moving you up on the list because you paid to skip. So that way you should see that reflected now. SB, if you send a donation, I'll let you know as soon as I get it and we can get started. You're welcome, Jazz. Thank you. All right. So, SB, his perception of you. All right. Let me see. What is his perception of you? Okay. Give me a second. All right. Perception of you. Perception of you. I feel like he's seeing both sides of you, like both sides of the coin, or essentially like the layers of you, I suppose. Because you have like multiple sides of you, and I feel like he gathers that every single time he spends with you. So he's seeing just all the different parts of yourself, like your strengths, and then he sees moments of vulnerability as well. I feel like he sees you as someone who's confident, who's successful in your own right. Your success is self earned. No one gave it to you. And I feel like he admires this because to him, you come across as accomplished and charismatic. You definitely are unique and stand out from the crowd as well. I'm especially seeing this with the Queen of Wands energy here. I feel like admiring you is an understatement. I feel like he feels proud to know you or lucky to know you. And he views you as someone who's well liked or well respected by other people. I feel like there's parts of you that are very self-assured, but there's this underlying level of humility at the same time. So it's like you know how to be confident and self-assured, while at the same time you don't let it give you a big ego, or let that make you become an ugly person because of it. I feel like you come across to him as someone thoughtful and ambitious and maybe even spontaneous or adventurous. You're open to new possibilities. You're not someone who's just stuck and defined inside of a box. You have big dreams, goals, and plans for the future. And I feel like while you're kind of like, it's so weird, you're like you're opposites. Like I keep hearing him say, she's two different things at one time. Like you are someone who likes to go out and explore and do new things and be adventurous and spontaneous, but you're also the type of person who wants to consider all options carefully before deciding on your choice. So he's like, if it's something minuscule, like where we're going to go eat, we can do like a random place. But if it's talking about like bigger life things or things that are going to impact us for more than an hour or two, I can definitely see that side of her where she's like, no, I've got to really think this through and I've got to be careful and things like that. So I feel like he sees that contemplation within you as well. Definitely introspective, or at least an introspective side of you. And I think sometimes when you're very deep in thought, he feels that you can be a bit withdrawn. And maybe he's unsure during those times, like what, you want from him or what you want from this connection, because while, you have been guarded, I feel like maybe you're, as time goes on, are trying to open up more and more every single time that you spend together. But he feels like, or you could give him the impression that you are reflective and occasionally hesitant to engage in a deeper way. But I think that the more he sees, the more he understands that it is going to come, but it's just going to take time. Um, so I feel like it's important that you feel understood by him. And I do think that he is getting there. And I think you're helping him. And I think also he's making sure to take notice of these things with you as well. Just because I know that there is a vulnerability in there, SB. I know it. You've got a hard shell, but I feel like he knows that. He sees it. He sees like that you really will have the ability to fully let go, but you have to feel safe to do that first. But he sees you as a very strong, resilient person. You've known difficult times. You may be carrying some scars, but I feel like he has this desire to want to be there for you and protect you and support you and be a comforting presence to you. And offer consistency, to a certain extent. I feel like he wants you to know, like, hey, I'm not like the rest, I guess you could say. So yeah, I mean, you're complex, you're a human being, you're complex, but he sees the depth to you. I think that he's just excited to kind of be allowed in that area of your life, if that makes sense. Like he's excited because this combination of qualities, is definitely adding to his depth of attraction for you. So I feel like he's just excited to like get in there. He's excited to see, you, because you have this warmth and charisma, and you do have this natural sense of confidence that I think can be intimidating to other people if they're not comfortable with themselves. But again, I feel like that's what draws him into you. I feel like that's what makes him want to get to know you more, because you are dynamic and you have all of these qualities about you that make you stand out, make you an individual, and make you more captivating to him. So yeah, that's what I feel like he would say about you if he could put it into words. All right, so let's take a look at what he would say to you, channeled messages. All right, pulling messages. He says, I take this connection seriously. We have something special. I see something strong and real between us. You feel like home to me. With you, I feel like I'm stepping towards something peaceful, something that feels right. Being near to you is helping me. It's reminding me of that song, Near to You by A Fine Frenzy. You may want to look that up. He says, you compliment me. And lastly, I feel a lot of joy when I'm around you. You're welcome, SB. I hope you have a great night. All right, so next on our list is Ajaz. Ajaz paid to skip. So Ajaz, if you want to drop your question, please do so. All right, so you want to know what are Dom's perception, or what is Dom's perception of you after sharing information about what transpired between Michelle and you. Okay, let's see. All right, so we have the lovers in reverse. The lovers in reverse can talk about how Dom feels like they, I guess, have a choice to make, or they need to really assess and figure out how they feel. The lovers in reverse could indicate that there's some type of interruption because of this information. There's some type of interruption between you and Dom. The lovers in reverse can talk about disharmony or trust issues. It can indicate feeling a bit disconnected from you because of this information, and maybe needing to have some type of detachment or something. Basically, they're like, I feel like Dom is almost like treading lightly or something. This is a very complex situation, which I don't even know if Dom feels like she has the right to be upset about this or feel a certain way. I feel like it's just causing a lot of like questioning in her mind, I would say. Um, it's like creating doubt or hesitancy. I feel like Dom's processing this new information, wondering how it fits into her current connections. And I feel like caution is just like a big word. It's making her more cautious, more contemplative, more reflective, feeling very uncertain and unresolved about these past dynamics. And I feel like she's just questioning a lot right now. This could also be surfacing or bringing up like some, I guess, trust issues or like fears surrounding trust. I do feel like this might have caught her off guard as well. I'm kind of getting like the message that this is something that might have been surprising to her, and is causing her to feel guarded, not really sure how to interpret. Like, I feel like she's not really sure how to feel. It's not that she's unappreciative of this information. I feel like maybe she's saying it's good for me to know. Let me see. Is she happy she knows? I am getting a yes. I do feel like it's good that she knows, but as I ask that question, I have the Queen of Swords, which indicates that now she's looking at things differently. And it's like an observation. I feel like she's trying to detach from her feelings or her emotions right now. So it's not like she's upset that she was told. I just think that the information might have been upsetting, I would say, potentially. So yeah, she's feeling a bit hesitant at this time. I also wouldn't be surprised if she comes to you, at some point down the line and asks to have another conversation about this, because while she works through these, then processes this information and absorbs it, digests it, what have you, I feel like she may be looking for more clarity later on. And she might prompt you or ask you to have another conversation about this to answer further questions that may come up for her. I would say that it is making her feel very uncomfortable, and I think she's unsure of what to trust. I wouldn't say that you have lost her trust completely. But I will say that it's going to depend. Like, she's got to figure out how much she values this connection with you, because, if she's willing to like work through this and say, okay, let's like put this behind us, this may create a new understanding and a basis for building that trust and transparency going forward. But I feel like right now, I think she's just kind of like I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't think that she's made up her mind. I think this has caused a lot of like questioning and hesitancy. And I think right now she's going, let me just take a minute. By me telling her, could this have backfired on me? Could this have backfired on Ajaz? At the end of the day, Ajaz, I don't think this will have backfired on you by telling her this. I think that this would have come out no matter what. It's better that you tell her on the front end than like letting your relationship go on and her like discovering this later on through you later or through someone else. I feel like she needed to have this information up front. Again, I don't feel that she regrets the fact that you've communicated this to her. I think this is just putting her in a compromised or uncomfortable position. And I think that she's just trying to process what's going on. So, no, at the end of the day, I don't think this was a bad idea. I think it's better to have done it now than later. What is your next question? She gossips about everyone, and you're not a fake. You're very genuine. You can't hang in your face, and no information's made about you. Ooh. I don't like a gossip. I really don't. Hey, Flowless. All of my lists are closed for the night, friends. We are working through my donations, and then I'm going to be signing off for the night. What does your ex-Libra want with you? She keeps writing you when she drinks and randomly when she's sober. Okay. There's like an Arctic Monkey song that's coming through right now. It's called Why Do You Only Call Me When You're High by Arctic Monkeys. That song is coming through for this reading right now for me. Okay, let's see. Let me pull some cards for you. You really hope Dama understands, and you hope her and you can continue building a friendship. I hope so too. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you should look it up. It's definitely like alternative vibes. Like, it's probably a song. If you've seen the show Peaky Blinders, you probably would like imagine that kind of music on that show. I don't even know what genre you would call it, but the lyrics though might resonate with you there. All right, let's see. What does X Libra want with Jazz? What does X Libra want with Jazz? I feel like there's definitely unresolved feelings for you, Jazz, from your ex Libra. Um, we may have touched on this before, we may not. I can't remember, but I do think that she's in a place of competition with you. The Five of Wands is here, which indicates to me that not only is she jealous when you're talking to other people, or when there are other people are talking to you, she's also jealous of you as a person. So maybe your looks, maybe your charisma, maybe your ability to get other people, like, I get the attention on you, that kind of thing. So she's like jealous of you, and then she's like jealous of like the people that you're talking to if it's not her. Um, Thank you, James. So it's like kind of crazy. I think that she's trying to process how she's feeling, and she's likely struggling with these unresolved emotions that have to do with you. So she'll reach out when she's feeling vulnerable, trying to process her feelings and maybe seek some type of emotional comfort from you specifically. So you're asking what she wants with you. I think that she's looking for you to provide her comfort, make her feel secure, make her feel good, make her feel wanted. She's comfortable with you because you are familiar. And I feel like she's got a lot of issues with being impulsive. Um, and instead of like trying to find clarity in why she's feeling the way she's feeling, she just decides to, I don't know, make the choices that aren't necessarily the best for her in those moments. I definitely feel like there's conflict and tension and competition between you guys. um I feel like she's conflicted about what she wants from you, so I think the fact that you don't know also kind of translates to her not knowing either. But I think that when she does try to connect with you, um, is because she's frustrated or unsure or unwilling to face the root of the problems between you guys. You may have left like an imprint on her as well that's making her feel like you're the one that got away. I feel like there also may be like other pressures that cause her to feel competitive with you. Like she needs to compete for your attention, and then she also needs to compete with you for other people's attention as well. There could be this feeling of rivalry between you guys. So I feel like she's looking for some type of comfort by reaching out to you, but I don't think she's here going, I need to be with Jazz again. Like, I need to be with her again. I don't think it's necessarily like that. I think that she's just dealing with unresolved feelings for you, not really sure what to do with it. And so reaching out to you is bringing a sense of comfort while she's going through emotional turmoil, unsure of what she wants, caught between the pain of the past and maybe the hope for potential for healing or reconnection with you. I think that this reaching out is driven by a desire for comfort and emotional resolution with you. But the problem is that you're like a fraction of that healing that needs to be done. She can resolve with you. Like, let's say everything went fine and dandy and she was able to resolve the issues. That's like a fraction of her big actual problem. You are like a fifth or 70th or 100th, you know what I mean? Like, you're only a fraction of her issues. So she thinks that somehow you're going to make her feel better. She's looking to you to make her feel better in whatever capacity that is. I think it's also important for you to protect yourself with her and set clear boundaries, especially if what she's doing is confusing or hurtful to you. I got you, James. Thank you. Perfect. Well, I hope that answered your question, Jazz, or at least confirmed some things for you that you might have been needing. Yeah, it's a little scary. You're welcome. You really hope you didn't read anything between you and Dom. I feel like, Jazz, it's almost like don't shoot the messenger. You know, I think that Dom will eventually figure out that you were just trying to be the lookout. You were trying to do what you thought was best in the moment. And I hope that if Dom is the type of person that you think that she is, that she will see that. All right, Philomena, what are Mario the Gemini intentions for me after visiting him in California? Oh my gosh, I hope you had a good time. Your best friend said the same thing. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Have a good night, girl. Mario's intentions. Ooh. All right. All right. All right. Hmm. Um, so I feel like your guy is a bit conflicted right now. I think overall the visit had him very excited about you. Um, I do feel like there's some level of contemplation or dissatisfaction happening on Mario's side, or like points of tension or conflict or something like that. And that could have to do with your circumstances. So, like, let's just say you guys had an amazing time together and there was really no issues at all. These cards, like the Four of Cups and the Five of Swords, may suggest some type of dissatisfaction from him because of your circumstances, like feeling unsure or feeling uncertain. Maybe, I don't know, like, I do recall, if I'm remembering this connection, is that you guys are kind of at a distance. There's the potential of him like reflecting on a long distance relationship that either he's had before or he's seen someone go through, and unsure if this is like the best possible situation or the best foundation to build a relationship on. But the reason for his conflict, I feel, is because he really likes you. Like, he really, really liked the visit that you guys have shared together. And I think that he was hoping that things would be more clear, or it would be easier to make a decision after meeting you and hanging out with you. And I think it's like actually harder because he's like, wow, I actually really like this girl. Um, but I want to make sure that we're making the best decision for us and that we're aligned in like what we want to happen. So I think that there's a little bit of disappointment or maybe potentially even sadness, for the circumstances at hand. But I feel like with the lovers, he's saying that we have a big choice to make. Um, I feel like he wants to spend more time with you. And I feel like he's hoping that in time, um, the decision or will be made more clear for him. But I feel like he likely feels a strong emotional romantic bond with you. There's definitely a sense of attraction, with you as well. I feel like he wants to see where this connection will go before he makes a decision either way, but he is open to a deeper relationship with you. Um, we also have the Queen of Pentacles, which is like the girlfriend card to me. Um, so this could indicate that you're checking all the boxes and you're like fitting what it is that he's looking for. He can tell that you're somebody with stability and grounding energy, that you're a very caring person. So there's likely things that you've done during this visit that have made him feel very comforted, secure, and or emotionally supported. I feel like he's leaning towards wanting to build something with you here. I feel like his main goal is for a grounded, supportive relationship where you guys bring value to one another's lives. Um, you offer, like, caring, emotional warmth, loyalty, reliability, trust, all of that stuff. And I do feel like while there could be a level of disappointment for the fact that you guys are at a distance from one another, I feel like he's like, it's fine though, because we're still getting to know one another. We're still seeing, each other. And I think that with the star here, he's saying, I have hope for this. Like, I'm feeling inspired and I want to stay optimistic about this connection, and really see where it goes, because I think that he sees that there is potential in this connection. And he sees something special in you, and he sees something special in what you guys have together. So yeah, I mean, he is a bit conflicted, but I think he's saying I'm not going to make any decisions right now. I have a mix of hope and caution, but because I see the potential here, I'm just going to kind of see this through and see where it goes despite feelings of uncertainty, because I really like this girl. And I feel like she's what I'm looking for. So that's basically what I'm getting. Oh, you're going back next month? Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. You said he misses you a lot and tells you every day. Aww. So that's what I've got, Philomena. You wanted to ask, is he your person? I don't know. He seems like a really good guy. It seems like you guys have a really strong connection, and I like seeing his energy towards you. I feel like he's building a deep emotional connection with you. So I think his energy towards you is very beautiful and very genuine. You said he's a mature person, and the connection you have with him is something you never had before. Oh, that makes me happy to hear. I think you should just see where it goes, Philomena. I think that if you guys have a plan, like you said, where he's eventually going to move to be with you, um, crazier things have happened. So as long as you guys have a plan, I don't see why not. Why you might as well keep continuing to explore this, because it sounds like someone unlike anyone you've ever met before, and I think that that's beautiful, and I think that's worth looking into. Absolutely. Can't walk away from it. You don't want to have any regrets in life. You don't want to be wondering what if. So you have to see it through. All right, so this is for James. James, if you're here, feel free to check in with me. Hey, hey. We're about to do channeling for you. Hey Luna, or Amy, welcome back. I almost called you Luna. Amy, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, James. I just finished your message. All right, so she says, I know there have been some tension between us and it's been weighing on my mind. I don't want to let things go on unresolved, but I also don't want to keep pushing or cause more conflict. I am not the best at handling these situations. I care about what's happening between us and I don't want misunderstandings or past issues to get in the way because I am not looking to dwell on the past forever. I hope we can both look ahead. I feel like there is potential here, but we have to be on the same page and work through the bumps. And also, I'm sorry my handwriting looks so bad there. I just was writing really fast, and that's just what happens sometimes. So if you can't make out something, let me know. But that is your message. So let's take a look here at your love two. Let me get shuffling. Amy, wait till I have a mini Luna. You're funny. I know. I honestly think we're gonna have a girl, and I will be shocked if it's a little boy. It'll be so crazy to me if that's the case, but I think we're gonna have a little girl. And I think our little girl is going to be a badass. I really do. I'm excited. I feel like I keep getting like information about her. She's like a bit of a spitfire, a bit sassy, which is going to be a lot of fun, I feel. Totally. It's funny because they say that your second is the one that's like a ball of energy and really sassy and stuff. But considering Brendan and I will probably only have one, I think the first one might be that way. I'm not, James. I'm not. But I know it's just around the corner. My witchy vibes are picking up that it's going to be like next year probably. But my cousin who I do readings with, she is in labor right now. So I'm really excited for her. Literally from your big long-term relationship breakup healing process. Aw, that's so sweet. Yeah, you guys have really been here through it all, honestly. All right, so love 2. Okay. All right, we have the 10 of Wands, the 2 of Swords, the 5 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, Judgment, and 9 of Pentacles. I feel like she is going through like the way she's showing up for the connection is that she's feeling burdened by external pressures, that she's dealing with her own indecision and inner conflict when trying to handle this connection. Something is going on in her life that's making her feel very responsible and like she's carrying around a lot of emotional baggage, which could be affecting your relationship. I do feel like she's struggling to balance everything, feeling weighed down. And it may be hard for her to fully give her energy to this connection. I also feel like she's feeling tired or stretched thin, and this may lead her to have pockets of like being withdrawn or less engaged with you during these times. I feel like she's at a crossroads in her mind regarding your connection. There's a sense of indecision and mental conflict that she's struggling with, having or like understanding what her clear choice or decision is, feeling torn between different options and really unsure on how to move forward with you. I feel like at times she will block her emotions for you altogether. I feel like sometimes she goes, "This is too much for me to handle, and I'm just gonna pretend like they don't exist or pretend that they're not there so that she can avoid making a decision." I think she has a fear of making the wrong choice. She gets paralyzed. We've mentioned this before. Everyone talks about fight or flight, but there's also paralyzed. And I feel like she's in this place of feeling paralysis in terms of the decisions that she wants to make. I feel like she doesn't yet have a full clarity or understanding of what she wants with you and how she feels for you. Um, that there is definitely like feeling conflicted inside. I definitely feel like her sense of competition with you is coming through again, James. Um, there's always this feeling of competition. She always feels like you're the best person, the most perfect person. You are a role model. You lead by example. You have it all figured out. And I feel like when she gets in these like mental states, all she does is compare herself to you. And I think that that can sometimes cloud how she feels for you because she's wrestling with multiple emotions for you and desires as well, which could be leading her to feel confusion or frustration. Oh my goodness. This is like, it feels kind of heavy. Um, Her intention with the Two of Cups is to have a meaningful and balanced and fulfilling relationship with you. I think that deep down, she wants to deepen the bond between you guys and create a harmonious, loving relationship. She wants to show you that she respects you. She wants to provide to you an emotional exchange. Um, she wants to show you that your feelings for her are reciprocated despite the challenges or confusion. I feel like she wants to build something strong and fulfilling with you. I feel like with the Judgment card in the position um, of her blocks or influences, I think that she's blocked by a need for reflection and reckoning. She's constantly talking about how, oh, I've got to move on from the past. I can't let the past hold me back. I can't let it be this thing that stops me from moving forward. Yet she consistently refuses to like pay her respects to the past and work through those things. And the Judgment card is saying, hey, um, it's kind of like a tower moment. It's like, if you don't figure it out, we're going to figure it out for you because you're taking way too long to learn this lesson because you're avoiding it. And Judgment is a healing card. It's one where you need to forgive yourself and forgive others and basically provide yourself absolution, just like clearing yourself from any guilt or shame or responsibility for whatever is not fully resolved yet. I feel like there's a lot for her from the past that needs to be acknowledged and healed. She really wants to just kind of put it behind her and pretend that it doesn't exist. So she's like avoiding making a decision or facing the truth of what your connection needs in order to move forward. And that she's being reluctant to make a commitment or accept the full scope or the full reality of what's required for your relationship to evolve. It's like she's not wanting to witness it or something or acknowledge it. The overall energy is the Nine of Pentacles, which represents independence, self-sufficiency, and like personal fulfillment. So the overall energy of the connection is making me feel like there's a strong focus on individual growth and self-worth, which makes sense because she talks about what is my value, what do I have to offer, that kind of thing. And so the overall energy is indicating a strong focus on the need for individual growth, especially from her. For both of you guys to be focused on your own lives and accomplishments, for you guys to live this like paralleled life, even if it's separate right now, but possibly leading, to a sense of emotional self-sufficiency that you guys can come together as two individual but whole people. Now, this might indicate that every once in a while there is going to be distance in this connection. But that's just because you guys are working through these things, because there's a heavy importance of the need of personal stability and confidence, which would definitely be a positive influence for you both, because when you're feeling secure in yourselves, then you can feel secure in one another. So I'm kind of getting the sense that this card is strongly urging and asking for you both, again, more so Patty, to become more secure within her, in herself, so that she can approach this connection as a whole person and ready to face, because before I was talking about how she's stopping herself from allowing the connection to evolve, and she's not willing to witness what is needed and what is required for the relationship to go to the next level. And so if she finds that stability and security within herself, and that individual growth and self-worth becomes more prominent, then she can approach this connection as a whole person. I hope that makes sense. I think that there's a need for her to have more emotional vulnerability, in order for this connection to progress and move forward. I think from her perspective, there is potential here, but there are obviously unresolved issues, both within herself and between the two of you, that need to be worked through so that you guys can deepen the connection. Let's see what we can tell you about your future together. Give me 1 second. So I remember when I was saying, I think it was like a week or two ago, and I had said that you guys have like two big moments or something that happens between you guys before you can officially become in union. There is something kind of a little bit coming through about that. Sorry. The Seven of Swords here in this card interprets as like that there may be some hidden truths or potential dishonesty between Patty and you. Like she might be holding back or not telling you things that would help strengthen your connection and actually bring you guys into the next phase of your relationship, that she may not be willing to be fully open emotionally or about her intentions right now, and that there could be a need for like trust building and transparency between you guys to move forward successfully. And I think that she needs to get very comfortable with like being open with you and communicating with you what scares her. There's this thing on This Is Us where the husband and wife talk about worst case scenario. They go, let's go there. Let's say something totally unhinged and let's say the crazy thing, because if we can speak it out loud, then it's not so scary. And I feel like that's what you need with her. I feel like you need her to tell you the scary thing, to tell you that she's worried about the future, she's scared of death, to say that she doesn't know if she's ever going to want a relationship, to say that she loves you and she's attracted to you, but she doesn't know if she's ever going to want to be in a relationship. You guys have to be fully transparent. She needs to be able to say to you, I'm confused, I don't know, I'm not sure. She needs to be able to not be scared, because here's the thing, James, is that she knows you accept her. She knows you accept her in full. But she thinks that that is in regards to her personality, that is in regards to her looks. But the thing is that you love her unconditionally and you love every layer of her, even the scary hidden parts of her. And you're like, I will accept you and love you unconditionally, but I need you to be honest with me. I need you to be straightforward and transparent. And I feel like she's like has this fear of confrontation, because she's going, I know that he accepts me if I'm quirky or if I say something silly or my mannerisms or my personality or how I look or how I dress or my interests. He accepts me. But it's like she's so scared to say the hidden thing. She's scared to tell you she's in love with you. She's scared to tell you she loves you. She's scared to tell you that, she like does envision every once in a while a life with you. But I think the reason is because she's afraid you're going to take that shit and run with it. She's afraid that the second that it comes out of her mouth, that's it. And I think that's why she's worried about telling these things to you, but she can't keep avoiding dealing with certain issues, which may cause tension in the relationship and may eventually backfire. But in terms of like your future together between you guys, I do feel like there's potential for a significant heartfelt connection between you guys. There's a powerful attraction, possibility of like desired committed relationship here. I have the Lovers, so it does talk about a choice that needs to be made. Like there may be moments where you need to decide what you guys truly want from each other, and whether practically what you want for your life is what she wants for her life. You may be pleasantly surprised about this. We also have the Queen of Cups, which talks about how can be emotional maturity, availability, compassion, understanding in this connection, that there is potential for a deep emotional connection, empathy, and nurturing between you guys in the future, that you guys might be able to bring out the Queen of Cups energy within one another, offering a sense of emotional support and care, nurturing in the relationship. Maybe an emotional openness that you guys have never really experienced before, that brings about a more balanced and harmonious connection between you both, and a sense of vulnerability and allowance of being emotionally present with one another. I feel like in the future, especially with the Nine of Cups, I feel like there's a lot of potential for satisfaction, contentment, and wishes coming true. This card indicates that despite what you guys have been through, there's a strong potential for fulfillment and happiness in the future between the two of you. Lots of joy and satisfaction, and it's basically like a happy ending, a happily ever after. It's just the need for you guys to overcome the challenge that you have right now in order to experience that potential of a deeply fulfilling relationship. So that's pretty much what I'm getting in terms of the future. Let's pull on how does she view you romantically. Amy, since you're next, if you want to go ahead and drop your question. And Phoenix, if you want to leave your question with me too, feel free to do so. Okay, that sounds good. Thanks, Amy. Um, James, you represent so much to her. Um, it's tough because I feel like you, you're coming in to this connection as a teacher, as a guide, as a healer to her, but also with this strong desire for a romantic connection. And it's like asking Patty to fall in love with you as a romantic partner, plus you as a spirit guide, plus you as a spiritual teacher, plus you as a healer. Like, I feel like it's a lot. It's like you are so many things to her, and sometimes it's incredible and sometimes it's infuriating. And I feel like she's having a difficult time trying to compartmentalize you, but what she needs to be doing is understanding that you're multiple things and you will always be multiple things, and that is okay. So for instance, she says that she feels that you are someone who's very nurturing, stable, and grounded for her, and that you offer her a sense of security. You provide her comfort and care and practicality in this connection, and you encourage her and support her in all of her areas of life. That you provide that stability and you embody that quality of care. And she finds this to be so attractive. At the same time, she feels like because you have the capability of highlighting the things in her that she needs to work on, she feels like you're someone she has to defend herself to or protect herself from in some way. Like she feels like she has ground that she has to fight for sometimes with you, or that there may be pressures or challenges from the connection where she feels she has to be assertive or set boundaries because maybe you're asking things of her that she doesn't feel ready for, she doesn't feel ready to face. There could also be this feeling of competition between you guys where she's constantly comparing herself to you. Again, I've said that before. And so this resistance of embracing this criticism or embracing this awareness, she's resisting it, and it's making her feel like she has to fight or guard herself in some way. At times she may feel like your connection is exhausting. She may feel overwhelmed by the weight of her responsibilities or challenges in life, and sometimes you may be linked to some of those pressures. Um, she could feel that the relationship, it comes with heavy emotional, like, um, labor, or like heavy emotional ties or something like that. Because as I mentioned previously and recently, is that you make her witness the emotions that she's experiencing that maybe she doesn't want to look at, maybe she doesn't want to face. It was something that I had said that we can connect that to, I think it was to the reading last night. um so I feel like for her, it's just, there's a lot. When she views you, she thinks of so many different things. I feel like she values you, and then I think there are moments where it's hard, it's too hard, and add that to her already existing burdens, and sometimes she just wants to shut down. Now, at the end of the day, I do feel that she looks at you as someone who brings optimism and healing and potential into her life, and she views you as someone who helps assist and inspire her to feel more hopeful. And you potentially could bring about a sense of, like, comfort during hard times, as long as you're not the one that's making her stressed out. I feel like she looks at you as inspiration and someone she feels drawn to, because you do represent a brighter, more fulfilling possibility in her life. I think that the advice here, or at least what I'm sensing from spirit, is that we do what you can to be her peace. I think that if you wanted advice to walk away from, how do I move forward in this connection with Patty? My advice right now would be to be her peace. Try not so much to be her teacher, her healer, her criticizer. What does she need to work on? What would make her life better? I think in the situation where a lot of times our people can be frustrated, they'll be like, do you need to vent or do you want advice? And I think you just need to be the person that lets her vent and let someone else give her the advice, because I feel like the more that she gets to see fun James, enjoyable James, healing James, pleasant James, as long as you can be her peace, I think that will help kind of soften the feelings of conflict that have been coming up in this reading in terms of how she views you romantically. Um, because really, she has a lot of nice things to say, but the two things that I could see pointing out is that she feels exhausted by this connection sometimes, or the need to defend or protect herself. So if you're not putting her in those positions, then 9 times out of 10, or even 10 times out of 10, she's going to go, you know what? I have such a good time with him. Like, and then she's only going to see the positive. So, if you can, I would say dial it back in terms of trying to be the person that's helping advise her or guide her, and allow fun James, romantic James, flirty James to be the person that's like front and center for her, so that when you guys are spending time together, she's consistently associating those times with you as pleasant. And yeah, just be her peace. Do things that are just going to bring about comfort for her right now. I think that's really going to help your connection. Okay, so next up we have Amy. So Amy says, wait, did I finish James? Let me just double check and make sure. Oh yeah, okay. Amy says, have my kids at work been thinking and feeling towards me recently? I know this week they've been up and down in their behavior, what they've been going through, but I actually was able to play with them and goof around with them. I hope it helped. Recently been hella stern to them in my words and volume in order to keep them in check and in balance. Okay. I'm a little thirsty. I have to grab myself a drink. If anyone sees Phoenix, I'm looking for them. They donated for a mini reading, and I just want to get their question. Okay, so Amy, I feel like today was good. I don't think it's the answer to everything, meaning that today you said you were able to be like goofy and you hoped it helped them, which I do think is the case, but I also don't feel like it's been consistent enough for them to be like, oh, just forget everything that's already happened. This is circumstantial, so I think that in those moments it was really good for them, but I do feel like there is some tension or competition among your students in how they perceive you or their interactions with you. I do feel like some of your students feel frustrated and challenged or even defensive in your class. Like there might be a sense of rivalry or disagreement. And sometimes it could be directed, towards you because they're frustrated or, they're feeling they have to compete for your attention even or your approval. And I know that you're only one person. So that can make it really hard. You know what I mean? Um, Let me see. I don't know. I think you'd have to confirm for me or not, but this card can also indicate that they would push back against you or test your boundaries or challenge you in small ways. And I think that sometimes it's not like overly hostile, but I definitely, at a minimum, it's a restless energy in the classroom. Um, some students might be very vocal about it, some students might not be, but generally here with the Five of Wands, that there's just overall tension and competition here in the connection. And there may be some resistance to, your authority or how you teach or something along those lines. We also have the Four of Swords. So your students may be also feeling mentally exhausted or disengaged or feeling like the need to have more breaks in their class. Like they might need, I don't know if you guys do like nap time or whatever, but like I feel like some sit outs, some timeouts, and not a timeout as like a punishment, but just honestly, they need time to themselves to quietly retreat and process their emotions and thoughts. Because I think that might help decrease the amount that they express outwardly of their frustration, that they need some quiet time to reflect. I think that you have some kids too with the Seven of Swords that are hiding their true feelings or avoiding confrontation. So there could be some students that are being like overly honest with you and some students who aren't being fully honest with you, either to avoid disappointing you or not really sure like how you're going to respond. So you've got a lot of a lot of conflict. I also feel like you have kids that are doing something like in secret. I don't know. They're like trying to like not get in trouble, so they're doing some things in a sneaky way. Um so that I don't really know what that's all about, but maybe I think allowing them and helping them to feel more comfortable coming to you. We did talk about being relatable. We talked about that a couple weeks ago where I said, you were sad about Eli and they knew about it and they checked in on you and it just showed that you're very human. I think putting yourself in a position where you're like, you know what? I have big feelings sometimes too. Sometimes I get frustrated and later I get embarrassed about how I acted. But I was just doing my best that I could in that moment. And the only thing I can do moving forward is just try to do better. And making yourself relatable will allow them to feel more transparent with you. So that way they know how to navigate through those emotions. But I do think you've got kids that are testing your boundaries and trying to get away with things in less obvious ways, maybe trying to skip steps or um, not putting their best effort or their best foot forward, you know. So there could be, and what's also sad about that is that there's some kids that I feel are not getting your attention because they are the quote unquote good kids. They're the quiet kids, the ones that aren't really saying much because you're having to put a lot of focus and attention on the ones that are actually giving you trouble. And so there could feel like this imbalance from those students that don't feel as connected to you. So it's a tough place to be in because you're only one person. Um, but you can only do your best, and that's pretty much what it is. Um, you said you can feel it. They definitely test your boundaries. Um, that's when you try to be really stern and talk to them. Recently, you're always outside on the playground. Your kids try to sneak snacks and candy. Of course they do. You got some little sneaky children here with the Seven of Swords trying to get away with shit and thinking I don't see them or won't say anything when they know the rules. Yeah, it's very true because I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place. So, it's a struggle. And I'm going to say, like, today being more playful and stuff, of course, that's great. But again, that's circumstantial because what they're needing to see from you is like that consistency, which is hard. Okay. But on a positive note, many of your students feel fulfilled in your class, especially emotionally. You are, they appreciate your support and the harmonious environment that you try to create. I feel like they view you as someone who fosters happiness and well-being and a sense of belonging, which really resonates positively with those students. To feel seen and to feel valued. You celebrate their differences, which is like a big thing, that nobody feels out of place in your class. Everyone feels overall emotionally fulfilled as best as possible. And despite the underlying tension, a significant amount or overall most of your students view you with warmth and appreciation and admiration, where they feel that you create a space where they can feel supported, happy, and comfortable. I still think the overall climate of your classroom is positive and that your kids generally have a sense of well-being and safety, belonging, and contentment. So, and I think that's really what's important when you get down to it, that if kids feel safe and like they belong and they're happy, that's really all you can ask because there is going to be a lot of chaos. They're kids. You try to keep things as positive as you can, and they see that. So I think that really the only advice here, Amy, is for you to be mindful of the students who might be feeling overwhelmed but are hiding it or feel like they don't want to bother you because your attention is on the other kids. And I remember telling you, we did a reading as well where I had told you that you've got some quiet kids. I said there's someone in particular. I think this kid is actually one that doesn't really give you a hard time. They're kind of quiet into themselves because they don't want to make life harder for you. But sometimes these students are going to need extra attention and reassurance to feel more engaged and open. You're bouncing all over the place. They know or at least sense you're doing this because they care. Yeah. Okay, so what's your next question? Hey, Phoenix. Okay, good. I've been messaging you. I just want to make sure you were here. If you want, Phoenix, I'm working on this last reading for Amy. If you can drop your question for me and we'll get to you. And then I think you're the last of the night. When Eli was Earthside, did he ever notice the little things about you, like your demeanor, likes, interests, or even your appearance? If so, what? Because you recall him buying that condensed milk because he remembered you loved it in your Viet coffee. Phoenix, I got you, girl. So, like, what other things do you remember or notice of me? Okay, I got you. I got you. Oh, yeah, you're good. I think, Amy, you are a glass half full to him. You are always just this ray of sunshine. Like when he thinks about you, she always had such a positive, happy demeanor. She can make anything good out of a bad situation, and that is very impactful on someone who doesn't necessarily think that way, who might struggle with mental health issues and things like that, to be around someone who can just always see the good part of something or the silver lining of something. And you validated his feelings, but you also said, you it's fair to feel that way, like you're valid in that. At the same time, at least blah blah blah, like you always try to find a way to you know bring in like a positive note on something that could have been disappointing, I would say. He noticed a certain vulnerability and emotional depth in you as well. um, I feel like the way that you, like your demeanor, the way that you express yourself, like specifically your like body language, I think was very expressive to him, which he really liked to see because it just added to this like hype part of your personality. So you might talk a lot with your hands or make a lot of facial expression. I do feel like he was drawn to your eyes and the way that you carried yourself. When you were reflecting or in a thoughtful state, if you were talking about something that excited you or something that you were passionate about, he liked the way that you physically expressed yourself, which he found very intriguing and endearing. And I feel like he appreciated how you process your emotions, navigate your feelings, even during difficult times. If you were dealing with a difficult time, or he was, or someone in your life was, with this like positive spin, it really added to the allure. And I think that you had this way of being very real and raw and vulnerable with him as well. Um, I feel like he liked the way that you presented yourself with a sense of purpose. The way that you would walk, you would probably give off a very open posture, like basically giving off this confidence or this optimistic outlook. I feel, you would make playful jokes and you would banter with him about how much he's attracted to you, and he just looked at that as just pure undeniable confidence within yourself. Um, let's see. What do I have here? Three of Wands. I definitely think it was just a general attraction for you, but I think that there was something about your eyes, the excitement that he could see through them, that he found very captivating, very alluring, because you were actively engaged in life. You give off this like very youthful part to your personality. And, Amy, like, I don't know if you would agree, but I feel like you haven't lived a lot of lives. Like, I feel like you're newer to this earth because and maybe not, maybe you have lived so many lives so that you give off this youthful appearance, because they say that, when you're first born, you're like a little baby, and then when you leave, you're like a baby because you're just this older person that's been through a lot, that nothing really phases you. Babies kind of look like old people. So, I mean, there could be some kind of like connection there, but I feel like you give off this, I'm not going to let things get you down. I'm not going to let things really take hold of me and this, and that, because, you want to be actively engaged in life and you want to take on challenges with determination. And this is reflected in your physical appearance as well, but you give off this like unbothered, like nothing matters kind of appearance, which means to me either you're very new and you've only had a couple of lives, or you've lived so many of them that you are at this point of peace that you just give no fucks anymore. So I can't quite figure it out. That's so crazy because I was going to say you probably only had 2 or 3 is what my guess was going to be. I was actually going to say I think this is your third life is what I was going to say. She's told you about your past life. She told you at most. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, Amy. I think this is your third life. Personally, that's what I think. I don't think you've had 3 lives and this one, but again, I'm not gonna I don't know for sure, but I think this is like your third life. I really do. I'm like, it could go either way. You could be the oldest life, soul on earth, or you just, because I don't feel like you have. I don't think you've lived that many. So that's really funny. And you just have like this love for life, which is just very, and you're so like, it's the way that you digest information, the way that you perceive the world, so on and so forth. So I feel like he just really liked the way that you handled yourself, the way you carried yourself. He felt your resilience is very attractive as well. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? He likes the way you managed things. You always knew how to make something a priority and then work down from there. So family was definitely a priority, or is a priority to you. At times he felt like a priority to you. You always made sure to manage things well and be very present in the moment. He viewed you as romantic and charming and idealistic. He felt like you're very romantic and emotional, like energetically. He felt that you were physically alluring, but it has to do with like your softness, again, your youthfulness. I think he really liked your smile. I think he's saying she doesn't smile a lot. She's got resting bitch face. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't smile a lot, but when she did, I really loved it. And maybe he liked seeing you smile from things that he would say. He liked being the one to put a smile on your face. He felt that you were very gentle and graceful and caring. You're very intentional with how you dress and present yourself. And he felt lucky because he was able to see moments of tenderness with you, love and affection. Um, Intimate moments of creativity as well, things of that nature. So I try to be as specific as possible. That's what I would say he would say about you. Did he notice her favorite food? Did he notice her favorite drink? I'm seeing something pink, Amy. I know this sounds like really crazy, but I would say yes. I am being reminded to strawberry yoo-hoos, and I'm going to tell you that story really quickly before I move on to Phoenix. When my mom first started dating my stepdad, so they were in the dating phase, and I was probably 13 years old. He was probably one of the first boyfriends that she dated that actually had genuine interest in not just her, he was like actually like, okay, let me get to know her kids. And I remember that every single time he came, he heard once that I like strawberry yoo-hoos. Again, this was like 2001, 2002. But he was like, she really loves strawberry yoo-hoo. So every single time he come over, he'd bring strawberry yoo-hoo for me. That was like so special because, you don't, I never grew up with like a role model or like a man that I could look up to. And I never like grew up around somebody who actually took care to have interest in my interest or pay special attention to something that I like. And, it was just like a really nice gesture. And so when I think pink, I'm hearing like pink, strawberry yoo-hoos. I think that spirit's reminding me of a time where, you know, somebody in my life who cared for me took notice of something that I liked, and in order to make a good impression, wanted to do something for me out of a show of care and respect as the daughter of the person he's dating. And so when I think pink strawberry yoo-hoos, I'm thinking of your situation too. I'm thinking that Eli did notice. He took notice like my stepdad did with me. He took notice of stuff that you liked and kept that in his back pocket. Now, I don't know if it was a pink drink like mine was, but I feel like spirit bringing that memory to mind is indicating to me as confirmation that he did notice certain things about you. That's like him buying the condensed milk when you never asked him because he saw how you told him you'd always sweeten your coffee. Yes, definitely, definitely, Amy. I wish that he could have done that more for you. I wish you had more opportunities for that to happen, but he did. He seemed like an acts of service kind of guy anyways. So you could probably have expected more encounters like that with him buying your favorite item and surprising you with it. All right, Phoenix, we are shuffling for you right now. I want to point out that it's 111 on my clock right now. All right, Amy, have a good night. I'll see you next week. All right, so Phoenix, the first thing that's calling out to me is the Four of Swords, which is telling me that your boyfriend is in a period of reflection right now, rest or contemplation. His feelings for you are ever present. They have not changed, they have not diminished, but it does indicate that he may be taking some time for himself, either physically or mentally, to recharge and process his emotions before fully engaging with you. So there could have been something that has transpired in your connection that's making him feel like he needs to take a mental step back or a little bit of a mental break, or something physical that's happening between you guys. But it's basically for him to think deeper and further about this connection. It's more like space. Break is kind of a harsh word, so I'm not going to use that. But I'm going to say that he just is basically wanting some time to himself to really think about where this is going, where this is heading. Overall, I feel like he feels a strong emotional connection to you. You provide a lot to him that he feels he hasn't gotten from anyone else. And you have a deep emotional bond that you share between the two of you. He feels that you're very supportive. You are emotionally available to him, loyal to him. Overall, I would say, I don't know if there's any issues there with loyalty, but I think that overall he feels very supportive by you. I feel like he values you. Um, I feel like you bring a lot of compassion to your connection with him that he very much appreciates. And I do feel like there's a strong passion and attraction towards you, that he admires you and your ability to take charge, to lead with, and to be confident and, on your own if needed. Um, and I feel like he wants to support you as well. And I do feel like overall he is emotionally fulfilled and content in the relationship, feeling happy and satisfied, and feels that you do bring him joy on a daily basis. And that being with you is a deeply fulfilling experience for your boyfriend. I think the only thing that's got me a little bit, what's going on here is the Four of Swords. And, this suggests that, he's going to be withdrawn or in need of that mental space, as I mentioned before, that where he's taking time to reflect on the relationship. Maybe he's trying to figure out, like, if your guys' future aligns, but this is basically a regroup. It does not feel like something that's going to last a long time. And it doesn't mean that his feelings for you are negative in any way. It just indicates that he might be in a more introspective or quiet state right now while processing his emotions and reflecting on your relationship. So I think that he essentially just wants to make sure that he's emotionally and mentally sound before coming back around, if that makes sense. So there may be some things that he's questioning in terms of, your future. Oh, that's okay. You don't have to apologize. I saw you say sorry you dozed off. Um, I think the love is surpassing his doubt and his questioning, if that's what you need to know. He seems to have a deep, emotionally fulfilling connection with you. He admires you, he feels passion for you. But I do think that there's something going on right now that feels like a bit of a challenge that he is trying to process through. But like I said, his feelings for you are ever present. They're not diminishing, they're not going away. Um, there was like a question on loyalty though. Has something happened with you guys that can cause mistrust in your connection? Challenges in finance right now? Are you worried about his loyalty to you? Like, are you worried about the state of your relationship? Like, are you worried that he's gonna leave or something? Okay, got you, yeah. Okay. Well, what I will say is that he just needs time, is what it feels like to me. I I don't want you stressing about this. Because what it's like, look, I even cut the deck and I have the Four of Wands. Truth be told, I think that you guys are going to figure this out. Um, Make sure that you're not putting yourself in any self-fulfilling prophecies. He loves how confident you are. He thinks that's one of the most sexy things about you is your confidence. So don't go changing that. Don't start getting worried about his feelings for you. Yeah, I wouldn't question that. Oh, wait, hold up. Is this the one we did the reading on last night with the girl in the workplace? Yeah, do not stress. Don't stress about this with him. He feels like your confidence is honestly one of the most alluring parts about you. So I do not want you going and start getting self-conscious or worried or, that kind of thing. I think your boyfriend is a very loyal person. So, you know, that's what I'm picking up. That's what I'm picking up. We can always do energy check-ins if you just want to, keep checking in on that. But I feel good about it. I almost what I want to say to you is that his being withdrawn or his being distant is unrelated to this girl in the workplace, okay? It has nothing to do with that girl. That's what I feel called to tell you, is that this is unrelated. It's not. You're probably going, "Oh, I feel the distance. What has changed?" And your brain is trying to navigate through like what could be going on, what could be happening, but I don't think it's related. Yeah. It's tough. It's very tough. But I would say just give it some time. I think you're going to get some answers pretty soon that will make you feel a little bit more secure in your connection with him. Okay? Just what we don't want to do is have any self-fulfilling prophecies. where we're worried about something and we accidentally manifest it. So definitely don't do that. I think you need to trust your man. I think you need to believe that he's going to do the right thing. You said, wow, you're spot on with what I've been feeling. Yeah. I've been wanting answers. You'll get them. You're going to get your answers. Don't worry. I pulled the judgment card for you. So that talks about clarity and understanding. So I know that right now is difficult because you're just wondering what the heck is going on. But I think that you just need to take what he's saying at face value. He says he's worried about finances and stressed out. And I think you just need to take that at face value for what it is. Yeah, don't read into it too much. And I also think too that you could be, he could be taking a step back because he's stressed at work or he's stressed about his finances and he's trying to come up with a game plan and all of that stuff. And little do you know, he's stressed about finances because he wants to surprise you with a trip somewhere, or he's trying to figure out how to for you guys to live together if you guys don't, or whatever. But because this girl is here, she's like wreaking havoc on your mind. You're starting to think, oh, there's a connection here. There's something going on here with the situation. I definitely think it's unrelated, and I don't want you to spiral, because what's going to happen is you're going to start noticing his distance even more. You're going to start noticing the energy shift if he's not talking to you as much or responding as quickly. And then you're going to start, like you said, spiral. So just don't do that. I feel like he knows what he's got with you. And I think that you should be confident in that he's a loyal person. He's very much into you. He considers himself to be taken. He considers himself to be in a relationship, and he's gonna do this above board. I truthfully do not think he has any interest in this other person, according to these readings I've been doing for you. I really don't. But what I'll leave you with as well is what's meant for you will not pass you by. If you guys are supposed to be together, this man is not going to go anywhere. He is going to be wanting you and only you, and that's all she wrote. If this man is for you, he's not going anywhere. And so just take that confidence and go, you know what? Actually, you're right. It's out of my hands, because if he's for me, he's not going anywhere. And just have peace in knowing that. Because it's hard, and we can definitely let our minds get the best of us, especially when we're worried about things like that. I think that this other girl needs to take a hike, is what I think. I hate that. I hate a girl who's not a girl's girl. That's wild. That is so wild to me. Yeah, I would not worry about her. You know what you should do when you're worried, if you ever get to the point where you're frustrated, you just need to sit there and think about and I don't care, make a whole list if you want to, but you need to think about what you have to offer, how amazing you are, how hot you look in that top, how awesome you look with that hairstyle, whatever will make you feel good about yourself, how good you are in bed. Girl, take it where you can. If you're talented, if you have education behind your belt, if you're well traveled, well cultured, write down, or at least think of the things that you have to offer, your sense of security. Nobody can nurture and care like you. No one can cook or sing like you. And I think that if you take the time, instead of comparing yourself or worried about this other woman, just think about how awesome you are, because then you're going to be reminded of all the things that he loves about you. It's tough. It's tough. We get in our heads a lot, and I understand it. I totally get it. She's spreading rumors about your seizures being fake. Oh my God. She's trying to get under your skin, Phoenix, and you're letting her. Stop giving her your power. Any energy that you put towards her, you're giving her your power away. Yeah. All right, friend. My husband just called me. He's on the way home from work, so I got to give him a call back. But I hope that this helped you, and I hope you have a good night. Good. All right, you're welcome. Have a good night, friends. I'm going to be taking a long weekend, so I'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful evening.